The hero's journey is a very well-established way of storytelling. You get to start with a character all the way from when they're weak and see how they grow, change, and get stronger. Peter Parker was a shy and nerdy high school student before becoming Spider-Man. Luke Skywalker was a simple farm boy before discovering his heritage and becoming a Jedi. Goku was a relatively weak alien child before becoming a stronger alien man-child. But what if you took a character and wrote a story starting from when they've already gained all their power and are seemingly at the end of their arc? Well, you'd get One Punch Man. But take that same character, give them a ridiculous desire to appear as a background character, obsession over an edgy power fantasy, and sprinkle in a little bit of that Isekai seasoning and you'd get the Eminence in Shadow. In the real world, Sid Kageno was a teenage high school student obsessed with becoming a hero, but not just any hero, one that operates from the shadows and lives his day-to-day life completely unknown to the public. To accomplish this, Sid trained religiously, carrying around weights and bags and sneaking in workouts during class while simultaneously doing everything in his power to appear as average as possible, tanking his grades to be average, making his social life average, and choosing to always respond to any situation quote unquote just like a background character would. There was one problem with his dream though. No matter how hard he trained, no matter how many desires and pursuits he sacrificed, there are limits to how strong a human can get. Sure, you can beat up thugs with a crowbar, you might even be able to take out somebody with military skills, but if they come with a bunch of guns or they drop a nuke on your head, all you can do is vaporize just like any other person would. A new world, prior knowledge and magic. You already know how this isekai shit goes, and with that magic, Sid can finally become Atomic. To me, like One Punch Man, the Eminence in Shadow is a parody, but instead of heroes, it's an overpowered self-insert isekai character, and it fully embraces every shitty isekai trope that comes with it. There's the truck, the harem, the OP main character, the edginess and cringe is turned up to the max. Oftentimes, these tropes are subverted to create jokes that are either pretty funny,
僕が金になびく男に見えるとでも
見えるわ
その通りだ
or completely fall flat on their face. Also, like One Punch Man, the anime so far does a pretty good job of building drama and intrigue using the side characters and the way Sid has impacted them. Random moments and flashbacks of characters interacting with each other, subtle hints at who villains might be through their mannerisms, or Sid's eyes changing to his magical ones and flashes of something more serious. Unlike One Punch Man though, Sid doesn't just unknowingly influence the plot, he is the plot. When he's in his Batman roleplay, he'll oftentimes just bullshit his way through dialogue to what sounds cool, or best fits his ideal power fantasy scenario, and it somehow turns out to be miraculously right. In one of the first episodes, Sid's sister is kidnapped, and his shadow harem is working hard to find out where she is. When presented with all of this information, what do you think Sid does? Does he try to analyze the facts and come up with a solution? Does he come up with a grand scheme to attack all the hideouts at once? No, that's not what the Eminence would do. The Eminence would already know, so he doubles down, takes a blind guess, and
そこだやべずれたそこに姉さんはいる
ですがここには何もまさかこの暗号はブラフ
Sid's bullshit though does provide a nice contrast to all of the background characters. While everybody else is playing Game of Thrones with these huge organizations and political implications between kingdoms, Sid is just playing Dungeons and Dragons where he's both the player and the dungeon master. He's also just one of the more unique anime protagonists I've seen recently. He's fully committed to cosplaying both the NPC and the quote-unquote hero. Everything he does is meticulously crafted to fit the scene in his head.
これらを柔らかく照らしこの部屋全体のムードをまとめているのがこのアンティークランプだ心が満たされる
But because Sid's actions do seriously affect the story and the characters, he's more than just comedic relief and drives most of their character development himself. More than any show I've talked about so far, I don't think the Eminence in Shadow is for everyone. While it is self-aware, it also uses those same isekai tropes itself, even when it's not trying to be funny. There's a lot of fan service, like a lot. A decent amount of the characters get almost no development or just personified tropes, and if none of the jokes or parody land for you, you'll probably just see it as another shitty power fantasy isekai. I do think there's a compelling story you could tell with Sid's character though, and there's a lot of setup that wasn't even capitalized on by the end of season 1, so I'm interested to see where the story goes.